Hi, this is Dan Smith of DPS Legal Counsel. Welcome to today's video and podcast episode of the Trademark School. Today on the Trademark School podcast, I want to talk about the benefits. What are the benefits of federal trademark registration for your business's trademark or trademarks? Now, on an earlier episode of this podcast, I talked about what a trademark is. And essentially, a trademark identifies by words or design or a combination of words and design. It identifies the source of goods or services to a prospective customer. So for example, the Nike swoosh on the side of a shoe identifies that shoe, the source of that shoe is Nike. If you see the golden arches driving down the street, those golden arches identify that the source of the hamburger that you'll buy in that business comes from McDonald's. So trademarks essentially are a roadmap for customers to see and understand and know what the source is of the goods and services they're buying, so that they're not surprised, and if they're looking for a particular good or service from a particular company, they know they're going to be getting it with a trademark that appears on that business or with that good or service. And so that's what a trademark essentially is. Now, what are the benefits for registering your trademark with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office? In other words, a federal trademark registration. Well, there are a number of them. First of all, if you do register your trademark, you are essentially you end up with an asset, an intellectual property asset that has value. Now, you can have a trademark that is unregistered, and you can register a trademark in a state, but a federal trademark registration, because of some of the other things I'll be talking about, has particular value to your business. So in effect, by registering your trademark, you are creating a valuable intellectual property asset for your business. A trademark, as I mentioned, you can have a trademark in the United States and have protectable rights in a trademark simply from using it. The United States is a jurisdiction that operates under the legal principle that trademark rights arise from use, first use, not first to file. And so you can have a trademark by being the first person to use it, but the geographic limitation of that protection is small. So for example, if you operate a very successful restaurant and you have a trademark that identifies your very successful restaurant, and you don't register that trademark, but you're the first to use that trademark, you may have protection so that you can't have a competitor open a competing restaurant in the same geographic area that you serve, which might be in a particular city, or it may be even in a portion of a city. Could be in even a slightly larger region if that's where your customers are from, but you're not going to have full protection. If, for example, you want to put your logo, your trademark on t-shirts, or you want to sell your goods, your food online, and sell it to customers online across the country, you're not going to have full protection on a national level. With a federal trademark registration, you get national protection for that trademark, so that if you're the first to use it in interstate commerce on a national basis, you're going to have protection to keep people from competing with you using that trademark, not only in the neighborhood where your restaurant is, but everywhere in the United States. And so that's a great benefit and a great reason to, if you're starting a new business or have a business that's operating, to think about applying for registration for your trademarks with the USPTO, in other words, a federal trademark registration. A state trademark registration would only protect you with respect to goods and services within that state. A federal trademark registration provides you national level protection. So that's a great benefit and one reason to consider filing an application for federal trademark registration. Another reason to apply and to seek federal trademark registration for your trademark is that once you do receive your registration, you can use the little R in a circle next to your trademark to identify that you have a federal trademark registration. Until you do that, you're prohibited from using the little R in the circle, which means registered trademark. If you have a trademark that is not registered, you can use the little TM as a superscript next to your trademark, but you can't use the R in a circle. So that's a great benefit, to be able to use the little R in a circle next to your trademark. And if you look around, start noticing all the trademarks that you're familiar with seeing on a regular daily basis, you'll start seeing that little R in a circle more and more as you're kind of sensitized to looking for it. It's a great thing to be able to do. Another benefit to having a federal trademark registration is if you do have someone who attempts to infringe your infringe your trademark. Copyrights will be for another day, but if you have someone who's going to be attempting to infringe your trademark by trying to sell goods or services in competition to you using your registered trademark, you can sue them for infringement in federal court. Without a federal registration, you can't use federal court. And once you're in federal court, having a federal trademark registration provides you with additional benefits. It gives you a number of presumptions in your favor in court, so that your burden of proof in your case is much less. For example, you would have a presumption that you're the owner of that trademark. You would have a presumption that the trademark is valid. And you would have a presumption that you are using the trademark. There are a number of other presumptions that that come into play the longer you have your trademark. So, for example, after you have used it in continuous use, if you've had it in continuous use for over 5 years, and you file a what's called an affidavit of incontestability with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, you have in effect a super trademark. So that if you needed to go to court to enforce your trademark, or to keep an infringer from infringing on your trademark, you have some additional presumptions that make it next to impossible for an infringer to win against you once you have the super trademark. So that's another reason to get started now and to register your trademark and continue to police it and use it over time. There are other benefits to registering the trademark, and some involve keeping imports that might infringe on your trademark out of the United States, if that's a business that you are in. Some apply to if you want to register your trademark internationally in other countries. Having a federal registration will assist in that effort. Another sort of appreciated benefit to having a federal trademark registration is that you are, by having your trademark registered, you are on the database at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and anyone who seeks to search that trademark database will find your trademark, and it will deter or keep people from trying to start a business and use that trademark in the future, because they'll see that you already have that trademark. So it's a deterrent for future potential competitors or infringers if you have your trademark in the database, because everyone will be on notice that you have that trademark. It also will, if you have someone who did apply for a trademark that was confusingly similar to yours, a trademark examining attorney will know that you have that trademark registration because it's in the database, and will likely turn down that application filed by another competitor, because they will see that you already have that trademark registration, and that if they were to allow this other registration after yours, it would be confusingly similar to an existing registered trademark. So again, it will keep competitors from using it. It will allow you to enforce your trademark through federal court and infringement cases if you need to. It'll allow you to use a little R in a circle, which is a great thing to do and gives sort of validity to your brand. And also the biggest thing, of course, is that it gives you national protection for your trademark, as opposed to having an unregistered trademark, which would be limited to first use in a very limited geographic area, or simply filing with a state for a state level trademark registration. So I hope this helps. This kind of gives you a little summary of some of the key benefits to having a federal trademark registration. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and we'll see you next time on the Trademark School.